Well, hello everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US. And I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. And today we're going to share some fun background ideas, some little techniques that you can do to make the backgrounds of your cards pop more, right? So we're going to be using 3 autumn bundles. Stampin' Up! Has a lot of beautiful products, and at this time of year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we have some beautiful autumn bundles, and they are called, let's see, Gathering Moments. That's the one that's being used in the Gathering Together suite that the All-Star group that I'm in is highlighting for our All-Star tutorial bundle this month. And then we have Beautiful Pumpkins, which is a really pretty 2-step stamp set. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And Amber Autumn, really fun. Okay, so we're gonna be using those 3 bundles, and the items that I'm using are they are right now in the description of my video. So you can just click below and click on those links, and you can be taken to the online store to shop those products. I do wanna tell you that free shipping is happening today. In the US, the amount that you want to have for your minimum order is $75. So $75 US for minimum for free shipping, and it's always a great deal, right? So for 3 days, it starts today and it goes through Friday. Just wanted to point that out to you. Let's give a big hello to Trisha Joseph. She's my moderator. She's here with us today. Yay, Trisha. She's the one who has her name standing out. It has like a little wrench symbol next to it so that you can see that she is the one who is here to fix things, to make all the answers to your questions come to you. And she's my voice in written form as we do our lives. So thank you, Trisha, for being here with us. And then I want to thank all of my YouTube members, my paying members. There is a membership program that you can be involved in if you'd like to support my channel monetarily. There's a 99 cents per month level, and then there's a $5.99 per month. And that level earns you an extra video, an exclusive video per month, which we'll be having soon. And then thank you to all of you who subscribe to my channel. Thank you to the new people that came to check it out. So let's get started, okay? I'm gonna bring you to, I think I'm gonna bring you to my computer first, because then we can take a peek at the card that we're gonna be doing, the cards. So we have some really pretty backgrounds to do. You can see we've got like a multi-colored background on the left 2 cards there. Same thing on the right, but the one on the left is done with cardstock, and the one on the right is the multicolor levels is done with inking. But you'll also see that with the cards on the left there that we have, oh, and I'm sorry that that's in the way, that we have some stamps printed on them. So stamping is done on those cards, or that cardstock too, to give it kind of a fun picturesque look. So those are the supplies. There are the measurements. And then we have the title and the date at the top, which my head is covering. This PDF is accessible, and I think you can actually click on it now. There's a link in my video description. I'm getting good at this, you guys. So please don't forget to take that PDF and print it off for yourself so you can refer to it. You can even print it off as we're talking so that you can see those cards the whole time we're working together. And thank you, Trisha. Trisha also had shared with us a link to my calendar. You can click on that calendar link and it will show you the calendar view of upcoming lives that I have coming up, okay? So thank you, everybody. It's so fun to see what's going on in your day, the weather and what you're doing. And anyways, so chime in, say hello to us, and tell us where you're from too. I love that. We're gonna start with the card that was on the right. So let's go down to my desk with my camera. All the cards do use the basic white thick cardstock, which this one has been cut in half. Let me show you the full sizes. So these are the papers. These are the 8.5 by 11 papers that I'm using. Basic white thick, crushed curry, Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and Blackberry Bliss. I don't know why I went like that, but I think I was saying them in order of how we use them on the card. And then we have those same colors in 2-tone cardstock. So let me show you that. And we're gonna just do a little quick comparison. I'm using thick because that is gonna be the white is gonna be the base of the cardstock. You can see the Cajun Craze and Cajun Craze two-tone pretty much look the same on their dark side. And then that's the light side of the Cajun Craze. Then we have, I'm sorry, that was Crushed Curry. This is Cajun Craze. Cajun Craze and the two-tone, just slightly different, you can see. The papers are made differently. The two-tone is printed color on each side. You have a white core in there, but this is dyed all the way through. And then you can see the light side. So there's the light versus the dark. And then this is Old Olive, very similar in color. And then here's the light side of that. Blackberry Bliss to me looks a lot different. Like this looks more bluish and this looks more reddish as far as purples go. So if you like a certain kind of Blackberry Bliss, you can choose which cardstock you get. And then this is the light side, which is really light in my mind. A big difference there. We're also going to be using gold foil on one of the cards. Okay, so those are the cardstocks and papers that we'll be using. Again, I've cut my cardstock in half already. I've scored it. We're going to use a bone folder just to give it a good crease. This is the base of our card, and when we open them, all the cards right now are blank inside, so if you want to do more on the insides of your cards, you certainly can, but we're going to play around with just the outside today. In fact, we're not even going to walk you through all of the steps of the cards. I hope that's okay, but this is more of a technique type of class today. For this card, I did use gold foil. That's where the gold foil comes in. And I'm going to show you my little trick for, you know, just cutting the right amount. And then we have this piece here, which is 4 inches wide because that's the width of the layer. So we have it 4 inches wide by 1 1/4 inches tall. This is Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Did it all of a sudden get darker in my desk area? It feels like it got darker. Sorry. And then this is called Fluid 100 paper. That is what we're using for the watercoloring technique because it's a watercolor paper. So we're going to start with that one because we need some time for it to dry. And that layer is actually 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Oh, mini pumpkins, you're crocheting. That sounds so cute. I love it. Oh my gosh, now I want to have like little kids around me again. Sandra says that she's crocheting mini pumpkins to go around their Lego Disney castle. Oh, toys are so fun. Okay, so I'm going to cut this to 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. That is the size of our basic card for fitting into our medium-sized envelopes, right? Fits like that. But I am cutting it that size, even though this is smaller, because that way when we do the watercoloring technique, we can trim the edges. Maybe my computer's or my camera's just kind of going in and out. Let me see if I can, hang on, that's my shirt. It's real, you guys, this is alive. I think the camera might have been a little blurry. Hopefully this will take care of it. I'm gonna bring in another piece of grid paper just to make sure that our base grid paper stays nice and clean as we work. And we're going to take and add some color to our Fluid 100 paper, which we've zoomed in on too far. Okay, let's use our blending brushes. And we're gonna start with our lightest color, which is the Crushed Curry, not Cajun Craze, Rachel. Crushed Curry. These are the ink colors right here. So if you want to, you can take a screenshot of that and then you can remember all the names, or you can look in the description of the video because all of the things are listed there. So we'll start with Crushed Curry and we'll just ink up our blending brush by swirling it around and around. And then we can start off of the paper if we want to, but we really do want a whole bunch of dense color on here. So we're gonna go ahead and load it up. You can see that the edges are getting slightly darker than the rest of the paper. We've done blending brushing before, but that's okay because we are gonna trim off an eighth of an inch? Yeah, an eighth of an inch all the way around. Now, because this is the lightest color, we can go ahead and load that on as much as we want, and we can bring it down about 1/3 of the way, because when you bring it down 1/3 of the way, you have an area where you can overlap color. So even though you can see that we don't have that yellow coming all the way down on the finished card, the overlapping is going to happen. So next we can move to, and we'll close our pads in between because we want to make sure that we are not getting messy today. Oh, all right. So now we're going to go on to the next color, and the next color down is our Old Olive. And I know I'm not doing this in rainbow order, am I? Is it kind of stressing some of you out? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We need to have a little bit of flexibility, and it's good to practice flexibility. So I've decided not to do rainbow order because what I was doing was I wanted the lightest color on top, which is obviously the yellow. And then I wanted leaf color transition. I wanted my leaves, you know how fall leaves, they transition from green, typically, to then kind of a yellowish, orangish, and then to, you know, dark brown, which we're going to call Blackberry Bliss today. Okay, see how that it overlapped the yellow, and it helped to kind of bring those two colors together. So now we have a nice thick section of the green. We'll move to Cajun Craze. I don't know why, but do you guys do that too, where you always confuse a couple colors, just the names? I think it's because Crushed Curry and Cajun Craze just seem, well, they all start with C's, right? But curry and Cajun, I don't know, they're both foods. Oh, look at that, it's blurry again. What's happening to my camera? Oh no. This isn't good, you guys. Hang on. Are we going to have technical issues? Let me try to do a disconnect and a connect. Oh, no. Let's not have technical issues today. Okay, so we're going to go over here, disconnect. Oh, it's not going to let me disconnect. I don't know. Oh, my goodness sakes. Okay, it seems to be okay now. Don't want to move. All right, next color. Ignore what just happened. The next color is Cajun Craze. Oh my goodness. I have no clue what it was, you guys. I don't even know. I just took the phone out, wiped the camera lens again. I don't know. Anyways, Cajun Craze, let's go in with that next. And again, you don't have to really have your color go off the surface of your paper because you want to load your paper with lots of color. So you can see there's an overlap of, you know, the green and the reddish orangish color, and that's giving us kind of a little brown in there, but that's okay because it's fall. It's fall colors. So we're going through, just adding a little bit more. The more you add, the more ink that you add, the better this technique works. Because we're going to splatter it with water. And we want that water to penetrate the ink to make a difference. It's still doing the zoom in and out and stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm not happy. Not happy with the zooming in and out. Okay, moving on to the next color. We're going to have a fast video today, Rachel. Go super fast, and then you won't have any issues. Actually, I'm doing another video soon after at 1:00 p.m. So in 2 hours, we're going to go live again, but I'm going to talk about a totally different topic. I was going to try to see if I could combine them, but that's always Rachel. Rachel tries to see how much she can fit into one video. Okay, and then the bottom color, and I love this one. This one just really gets dense on here because it's nice and dark, right? So even though it looks blotchy right now, it's okay because we're also going to die cut it. So we're not thinking about how pretty the ink is going on. We're going to die cut it. Those little blobs versus the smoothness of the ink is not going to matter. Okay, do you see that? Isn't that fun? Now we're going to do some die cutting. If you've never cut with dies before, it's a fairly simple process. Oops, let me put these away so that they don't get ink on anything. We're going to bring in our stamp and cut and emboss machine. And I have my platform, then my die adapter plate, and then I have my scratchier plate. This is plate number 3. Okay, I don't know why, but I just use it in that direction. And now we have our paper and our dies. Oh my gosh, I have to show you the products. Okay, we will, but let me grab the dies from the Amber Autumn. So we're using this really cool die that looks like this. It's gonna cut out lots of connected leaves. And I'm trying to remember which way it goes. We're gonna go this way. Now, if you want to, you can take and put some sticky notes down, some Post-it notes, and that will help hold it in place. But you also, we haven't cut this yet. So I could cut it. You know what, I'm gonna do that first. This is what I did before. And then we'll use the sticky notes. So you're gonna trim off your 1/8 of an inch on each side. And that's the first little dash line here, because the colored area is the 1/16 of an inch, and then the next dash is going to bring you to the 1/8 of an inch mark. So now we're cutting off and we're making that edge look a little smoother as far as transition of color goes. So you haven't used the blending brushes yet? You got to pull them out. They are so fun. Okay, so now we have that done. Now we're going to bring in this, and I want my die to be centered. Now you could cut this first and then you could trim evenly around, but I just know me. If I go out of the order that I normally go in, I'm going to have to rethink and it'll slow me down. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to have to put my sticky note across this zone and then there, and then we'll do another one like right through here. Hopefully that'll connect. So paper to die with the sticky notes. Doesn't look like it's moving. Okay, I think we're good to go. I'm checking it out from the side view. We're gonna crank it on through, make sure everything's lined up. Now this one, because it's a detailed die, sorry, got to put some muscle into this one. Because it's a detailed die, I am going to flip it over. Wow, that's a tight one for cranking through. Oh, it's probably because the Fluid 100 paper is a little thicker. But I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to send it through again. That will, sending it through a couple times will help, but also sending it through so that the roller on the top of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, there's 2 rollers. They come together and they crank and they squish something really hard, right? So there's a roller on top versus a roller on the bottom. And the roller on top is now making a more direct connection with the die blade because the blades are up towards it, if that makes sense. I think I'm going this way. Okay, now we can take and pull it out, and you can see, you can check to make sure all the cuts are good to go, and they are. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these off and take a peek at what we got. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Look at that. And we haven't even like cleaned it up. Okay, that's gonna go out of the way for a minute. We're gonna bring this paper back in, and you could take your die brush and kind of like clean that up, but we're not gonna go through all the steps of all the cards, but I'm gonna show you this step, okay? So let me flip it over. Now you take a spritzer. So we have these really cool mini bottles, and you can put fluid in here, like, I don't know, rubbing alcohol if you wanna add some really, oh, look at that, moved on us too. If you wanna add some Wink of Stella, glimmer paint kind of stuff in there or whatever, and then you can shake it and spritz it and put it on your card. Anyways, there's all kinds of things that you can do with spritzers. You'll want to look up videos with that. But I'm going to take and spritz this, and it doesn't matter if it's up or down, but what I'm doing is I'm adding drops of ink. And the bigger the drops, the more obvious it's going to be. So you could even do like a wet paintbrush and just kind of splatter it on. My comments disappeared. There you guys are. And so I'm going to try to just go really close. Get some bigger droplets in there. And we're gonna let this set aside and dry. And you're gonna see it more obvious in the darker area than you will in the lighter area, but let's just spritz the areas. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside, and what we're gonna start to see is lightening. So the water is gonna kind of, you can kind of see it here already, where you see little tiny speckles that are creating a lightening of the color where the droplets of water are. So that's that. We're gonna put that aside. We're gonna pull this over here, and we're gonna work on the next card. For the next card, which is this one here, I need to tape this down again. It moved on me. Okay, let's shove that back up in place. Okay, so the video that I'm gonna do in a couple hours, that one is gonna be on the new stamp and die storage. I've been taking a peek at what I have, and also looking at things that other people are sharing about their stamp and die storage containers and how they're gonna do things. And so I thought I would share some of that information with you. Okay, so for our card base, you need your basic white background again. Okay, we took a break from the first card, but that's okay. So you need your basic white cardstock again for your base. Then you need a layer of Blackberry Bliss. Now we're using all regular cardstock for this card. This is not the two-tone cardstock. This is regular cardstock. So this is a 4" by 5¼ layer, as you can see. And then we have these layers here. And we have the two on top are slightly smaller than the two on the bottom. These are 1¼ inch tall, and these are 1 3/8 inches tall. So your next step is gonna be to take some temporary adhesive. Actually, for this one, I don't think we needed to. You can do just regular adhesive. So we will take regular adhesive. And you can slather it if you want to, but what you wanna do is start with the top, because you're using two different colors here, and your base color is the color that's gonna be at the bottom of the card. So we are taking, I'm just gonna stick it on all the way. Why not? Okay, so we're gonna put that on here, and we're gonna line it up really good, really well here, okay? So that we can't see that purple edging. Next, you're gonna grab your green, and you're gonna put that one right up flush with the yellow. So this is Old Olive next to crushed curry, and then we'll use our Cajun Craze color. And again, these are the regular cardstock colors for this first of the striped cards. And see how we're just lining everything up. On this last one, if this goes beyond or it doesn't quite go all the way, you still are matching the color on the bottom. Like, you see that? If you have just a slight peak of color there, it's not going to make much of a difference. You could trim it, of course, but let's say you even have it, let's say you have extra on the back side. So when you open, well, you won't be opening the card and seeing that. But anyways, it matches up better if you have your last strip as the same color, just in case you're slightly off. Okay, so we're going to add that. And now you could take like a long bladed scissors, and you could trim if you want to. After you have this done, now you're gonna stamp, and you're gonna stamp all over. We're using Versamark ink. That's how you get the tone-on-tone look without having to have like yellow ink here, green ink here, orange ink here, purple ink here. This will do the trick of deepening the color of the cardstock where you stamp. It's a wonderful ink pad, which I have not shared in so long. So now we're gonna use the stamp set, here it is, called Amber Autumn. And that's the one that matches the dies we just used. I better show you these, you guys. Stop, pause, show the products. Okay, well, after this is cleaned out, you saw what it looked like. That's one of the dies. And then you can see that you also get this shape die and this one here. Those will cut out these images when you stamp them. And then you have a couple other accent images. And I believe this is the one I used for the extra leaf. The stamp set has some beautiful fonts in it. I love the fonts. And the messages are really nice. And they don't just have to be, you know, used for fall, right? You can always say blessed to have you in my life, or thanks, or you're simply the best. So those messages could go with other images that you have. The other bundle, Beautiful Pumpkins, looks like this. So you have your two-tone or your two-step pumpkin images, and you'll see the card up close in just a second here, but they just make this fuller looking pumpkin. I did it with the smaller ones, super cute. And then you have some solid leaves here. You have some imagery that looks like the stem that has more of a photographic look like these images here, and distinctive of what it's called. And then you have some dies. So you have some more leaves, some more stems. You have the ones that will outline all of these images, except for this one here. This is the only one that does not have an outline die. It looks like it does, but it's not the exact same one. This is kind of on its own. This one's on its own. This one's on its own. These two are on their own. But this one will cut out this leaf. These two will cut out those stems, and these will cut out the pumpkins. There's nothing to cut this one out, just so you know. And then we have this bundle, and this is the bundle that matches the Gathering Together suite. It goes with the Gathering Together suite, which again, our All-Star group is focusing on this month for our All-Star tutorial bundle. You'll want to check it out. You can earn it for free with a $50 plus order through me. All right, so Gathering Together, lots of beautiful sayings here as well. You have some imagery that you can die cut, and then you have these full leaves, nice big leaves. There's a, you can just use the frame itself, or you can add the inside to it too and get these stitched little holes so that you can actually bring twine in and out. Kind of fun. Okay, back to this. So after you have added your paper, then you will put your stamp on a block, and you'll take your ink. This is Versamark ink again, remember. So it's clear sticky ink, and what it does is it amplifies the color of your cardstock. It does take a while to dry. This is dry now. I did this yesterday, but it takes a while to dry, just so you know. So because of that, you can do embossing. So let's say we stamp this up here. See, there's the sticky ink. It's not as intense as this one yet because it takes a while to dry. But after it's dry, let me grab my embossing tools here. You can take and emboss. We're going to use the clear from the Basics container. So we'll pull that out. I think it's this one here. Clear gloss. Tap it down, open it up. Ah! Oh. Well, there you go, Rachel. Now we have a nice little mess on our desk. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle that. This is where we need an assistant. Sprinkle it on there, and you're tapping off the extra, and you can see that it's clinging just to where the ink sits. Maybe you can see that. I'll zoom in. Oops. Can you see? Well, anyways, the powder is on there. It's also all over my desk. Okay, so after you've stamped the whole thing, then you're going to take and heat emboss. And because I'm heat embossing in this place, we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup first. We're gonna take this paper back off the desk. Oh dear. Camera issues with focusing, and now we have a mess. We'll just scoop that back onto there, tap the excess onto the floor, and then we're going to scoot the rest of this with cardstock into my little bin here. Have to clean it up, or my whole desk will get embossed, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, that's clean, because it will stick to wherever the heat goes, and we're gonna have the heat gun right here. So, oh boy. Okay. All right. Make sure the paper is nice and clean. Do you guys ever do stuff like that? Oh my goodness. I feel like I've gotten messier and messier as I've aged. Okay, we're gonna zoom back out. We're gonna tape this back in place. Is the powder still on there? No, it kind of got wiped away. So we'll just put a little bit more on there. There, that looks good. Wipe off the excess on the bottom. Okay, we're ready. We're gonna take our heat gun, our heat tool, which is plugged in. We're gonna turn it up to 2. You can use the tweezers. There's a tweezers that comes in here, so you could take and grab your paper and hold it. Because we're only embossing on the one side, I'm just gonna angle my heat tool away from my hand, and you can see the loveliness that will happen. So it will take that Versamarked area, and it will even intensify the lines of color more. So it will darken it up. Oh, so pretty, you guys. And then you want to angle it back and forth in the light to see if everything's shiny. Looks pretty good. So that's the look you're going to get throughout the whole card to get that fun background. See how it now is at the same level and tone on tone. You'll do that all the way through. Then you can take your tiny pieces here. So I have a 1" by 3" strip of old olive cardstock. And then I have a layer behind it, which is 1 1/8 by 3 1/16. There's that extra 16th there. That way this side can line up flush, and then you have an extra piece of white on the outside. After you've stamped this with the Blessed to Have You in My Life using Blackberry Bliss ink, then you'll put those two down here on the card with I just used, the seal adhesive, but you could use glue or whatever flat adhesive you have. This is flat to the card. Then you're going to take a scrap piece of white, so that's what this is for. You're going to stamp your other imagery, but that imagery does not come from this stamp set. So we actually did a lot of combining. In this card, I also brought in the Gathering Moments imagery. So I used these images here and stamped out some acorns with Cajun craze, the leaves with the crushed curry and the old olives, and then another unique leaf there with the old olive. I'm going to give you a little tip for doing your stamping. So here's my Cajun craze. Here's my scrap of white. And we will mount the acorn. So let's take that image out of here. Here's our acorn. Grab it. And if you stamp straight like this, well, it depends. If you have a really, really inked up stamp pad, you're going to get a very intense color. This one is not that inked up, I guess. But sometimes your color can get really intense on your ink pads. I'm going towards the edges to see if I can intensify it more. Let's see if that works. Nope. Okay, well, here's the tip. Here's the tip I have. If that happens to you, for distinctive images like that, this is a distinctive stamp set in that you see the dark and the light imagery or the intensity throughout the image. Okay, you see darkness and lightness on the image. If you have issues with those kind of stamp images, you can take your Dauber and you can take and pounce the Dauber into your ink pad and ink up your stamp that way. And it will give you a more even amount of color when you stamp your image down. Which to me, I'd actually see how I took away those little dark lines around the edges there. That one looks a lot more even to me than the other ones, even though this wasn't that intense of an ink pad. Some ink pads though, they come really well inked, or if you ink it up, it's gonna be juicy. So that is my tip for you, is use a Dauber to ink up your stamps when you're using imagery like that. So that's what I did with all of these stamp images, and then I die cut them with the coordinating dies, which come in the die set that matches that stamp set. So I actually used 2 bundles to make the card. These little guys here are from the Flower Accents. They're called Flower Accents. They don't even look like flowers. They look like circles. I think it's funny. But within them, if you zoom in with your eyeballs, let's see if we can, within them you can see, and yeah, it's going to get blurry now, but you can see a flower shape kind of drawn inside the images. So flower accents. So that's why they're called flower accents. But yeah, you can just add them with your take your pick tool. Just use the little gummy end of the take your pick tool. Push, slide, lift, and add it. And now you have a fun card. I did add this layer on with dimensionals. So you can see the dimensionals are there. I did add this piece with a dimensional. These are just added with glue dots to kind of hang on tight to the sentiment layer there. I didn't want them to fly away. This is added with seal adhesive, but you could use glue back there. Thank you. And then we have this one, which is added with a mini dimensional. So there's a tiny little oops, can't see it. Tiny little dimensional underneath that. I'm just having camera clarity issues here. Tiny dimensional under there. Now you can see it. And that just lifts up the corner, and then the rest is stuck down tight underneath. So yeah, so that's that one. That one's done. We're gonna move that aside. After I did that card, and again, you could do it without the embossing if you want to, or with the embossing. The embossing just gives it a little bit more kick and shine, and the color just gets a little bit more intense. This is without embossing, this is with. So after I did that, then I thought maybe I can do a certain technique where we do clear and then we do some more dark ink around it, and that will help intensify and you can't even see it. I know you guys are like, what is she showing us? That will intensify the clear to keep the main color underneath the cardstock lighter than the outside, but it didn't work with the Blackberry Bliss. It just looks like a smothered mess. So we went with the two-tone cardstock for the next card. So the two-tone cardstock, we have the lightest sides up right now. Here are the lightest sides of all of those colors. Here are the darker sides. Here are the lighter sides. So we're gonna bring that back over, that grid paper. Hopefully it's dry from the spritzing. And we're gonna do the same thing where we add, but this time we're using temporary adhesive. Temporary adhesive. And the reason why is because you're gonna peel these back off. So we're gonna lay them all the same way we did before. Dark side down, light side up. I'm still laughing inside my head because of the spillage of the embossing powder. So fun. There's got to be something in every live, right? I think this one's a little long. We're going to trim that. Okay. Everything's lined up. Now we're going to do the same where we stamp. This time I'll use the pumpkin image from Amber Autumn. So we're going to pull that out. And I think I need a bigger, you know what? We'll just use the same one. We'll just use the same one, but you'll get the idea. Here's the finished card. Do you see what's happening here? The embossed area is lighter. How do we do that? So let's just use the same stamp just for speedy purposes here. And I don't know, we'll stick this image over here now so it's crossing over 3 colors. Let's see here. Maybe we'll do a couple more. We'll do another one right down in here. Oh, just do the whole thing, because you know what, Rachel? You're gonna have to put the ink on it. Okay, we're gonna do the whole thing. So we're adding some leaves. We're doing a 4th version, you guys. This is a 4th version because I don't have this version done. So I'm kind of angling it so I can see where my imagery is, because it's really light. It's hard to see that Versamark on there. And you want to turn and twist your stamp images because in nature, leaves aren't all facing the same direction. Okay, we have stamped it. We're going to put this aside. We're going to put that aside. We're going to bring in the clear powder again, which is why I didn't clean it up yet. Let's see if we can make this transfer down. Okay. I'm laughing because I'm just expecting myself to spill again. You see that? You see that trick there? Did you see what I did? You can do that. It's kind of fun. That way you don't have to put more embossing powder out onto your table. Keep all your mess right over the tray. All right, now we're just gonna tap where there is no embossing powder on the edges so that we can kind of remove any excess. Oh, this is working out great. No spilling, Rachel. You did a good job. Thanks. Now we'll tap it back down. And you can use the brush. There's a brush that comes with this too. Let's see if we can get it in the container. Oh, we'll use the brush. Where is the brush? Because then we can get that little flow of powder a little bit narrower as we put it back into our container. So yeah, you're just gonna brush it, and you can use the hole on the end. You see that, Rachel? I don't use that. I feel like I don't like that there's a tunnel there and I can't see where my powder's going. I feel like it'll kind of get lost in there. Sorry, now you can't see what I'm doing at all. But there. And then the rest of this you can just throw on your floor or put in the garbage. We'll put it in the garbage. Tidy, it's nice and tidy because there is another color that you're gonna see in a minute. Well, actually we probably won't even do that step, but that's embossing. The other color that I was gonna mention is gold embossing. I'm using the gold on the first card, which we have to finish. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Let's pull this stuff aside and let's take our heat tool and let's heat this thing up. Again, smart to use the tweezers. Rachel is not using the tweezers. Rachel's a fast stamper. I like to go fast, and so I sometimes avoid some of those things that we should be doing, and I burn my finger. It's not good. Okay, as I'm heating this, you can kind of see it start to turn clear and shiny, and that's what we want, clear and shiny. I'm gonna go all the way through. I hope you can still hear me over the sound of this heat tool. I'm gonna flip it around and continue. We wanna heat the whole thing because otherwise we're gonna have powder in our ink. Yeah, I probably should have had one of these done ahead of time. It's okay. Sometimes it's nice to watch the whole process, right? If only the heat tool was quieter, this would be more relaxing. Okay, now I'm looking just to make sure I got it all, and it looks like I did. We just need quieter heat tools. Okay, now we take and remove these. Because we use temporary adhesive, we can remove them. And I'm gonna grab some more grid paper. There's a little bit of powder that got caught under there. Because we got messy today. Let me grab another sheet of this that's not full of powder. And we'll do one color, just a little bit at a time. I'm not gonna do the whole strip because you already see the finished end, but I'm gonna show you what I did for these. Instead of the blending brush, because the blending brush took way too long, I then brought in my daubers. And I should have this case listed in my supplies too. This is from the Country Hive. It's amazing. It even, like, you can even print off a little grid here and then add your colors in there so that you can color code your little dauber holder. So I'm gonna use crushed curry, and to dauber these, you just go like this, like that in the middle, and you can take and color code. Okay, so I'm gonna ink it up and I'm gonna swirl it right on top, and you can see already the change. There is an issue. If you let it sit like that, you're gonna possibly get ink on you because, and I think, oh, here it is. Because the embossed areas are clear and shiny, they're not gonna soak in that ink that you just added. So after you're done, you have to wipe. You have to wipe on the top, and it'll pick up any ink that's sitting on top of the surface where you did not have ink soak in. Okay, so next color. Let me show you the differences. It's kind of cool to watch the change. We'll do Cajun Craze next. And all of my daubers, yes, I do label them. I have a labeler in my favorite extras too that I probably should have mentioned, but I just label them all so that I know I'm using the correct color. So let's do this one. And it's so cool, you guys. This is so fun to see the process. And because it's such a because it's a slightly lighter color than the darkest side here, then you're gonna get that intense change between light and dark. See how that looks? I probably should keep going with that because it looks kind of odd to have that not popping all the way. So yeah, you want to darken it with your dauber. Clean off any ink sitting on the surface. And now you can see the difference there. If it would stop being blurry. Why do I have blur today? There we go. Okay, next one. This is the Old Olive color. Are you loving this, you guys? This is so fun. So instead of having the dark on top of the light, you're having the light look like it's stamped. It's so cool. So we'll grab our Old Olive Dauber. And this is the way this one looks. Oh, that's quite the change. Quite the change already. Fun. Just don't hold it up to the camera. Just bring your zoom in. There we go. All right. I scold myself a lot. I'm doing that a lot today, aren't I? Okay, last color. This is the one where we had issues with the regular cardstock, but look how pretty this is. It's so much fun. Okay, let's put that dauber away. Put out the Blackberry Bliss one. I mean, this is so pretty, you guys. I just want to do the whole thing. So, oops, bringing it way too high again. But isn't that fun? And so then you get the light on top of, and I'm way too close now, the light on top of the dark. These were stamped, crushed curry, stamped off for the solid background layer, then stamped full for the one that's less intense. So when you're looking at those pumpkins, here they are. This is inked up first, stamped down, light. This one's stamped down with full color of crushed curry. Or you could stamp this one with full color first and then line this up with stamped off ink. Okay, either way, but you want to use the lighter ink on the one that looks like it should be darker. That's always the thing. Those confuse, right? And then here's the stem done with crushed curry ink. This was done with the two-toned cardstock, dark side. So I just die cut that with the coordinating dies. The flip side of that, as you can see, it's lighter. That's what I used on this 1 inch by 3 inch green layer here. And then the measurements are the same on the white underneath that. So there we have our other card. And then let's bring this one back in. And explain the next step. So let's see if we have our change. You can see, yeah, you can really see it in the green. Okay, let's put it down on the white. You can really see it in the green, the speckly look there. So it gives it a very speckly, there's another one. It's really fun. It just has more of a textured kind of look. Raindropped leaves, right? Because that happens a lot. In fact, it rained a lot yesterday here, and I think it's going to rain again today. It's just wet, colorful autumn time, right? So after you've done that, you can add that to your card with little dimensionals. See, I have dimensionals back there. I think I used the mini ones for that. I have dimensionals here, here, yep, here, 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 and here. And then if it sets down in the middle, that's totally fine with me because this actually connects up here on top of this layer, but underneath against the cardstock like that. So what I did is I took my strip of, here it is, Blackberry Bliss cardstock, regular cardstock, and I stuck it under these layers here and just added a little bit of glue, connected, and then added seal adhesive here and connected that to the, there we go, to the white base of the card. So this is sticking down lower, this is up higher. I'm exaggerating it, but it's kind of looking like that, if that makes sense. Your leaf, your extra gold leaf, I got that from, let me find it here. Oh, I already pulled it out, didn't I? I got that from the die set from the Amber Autumn. So there's the die. And what I do is I just take and line it up on my gold foil where I want to cut. And then just trim around it. And that way I'm not putting any kind of impression from my scratched up cutting pads into the rest of the foil. So I'm not risking it. So I just go ahead and die cut that. I come up with this beautiful leaf and I tucked that underneath and then stuck a couple little dots on there. This is embossed in gold. So it's done using the same ink, the Versamark ink, but with the gold powder on top. And that's how you get that beautiful gold foil look. And it feels like it's got a raised surface too. It's so nice. So I hope I gave you a lot of products to look at and think about for purchasing today, tomorrow, or the next day. Because again, take advantage of the free shipping day. No matter what, it's always a great deal, especially if you have $75 worth of product, right? So, so think about all the products that we use today. Maybe you already have some things on your wish list. You can scroll down again, click on those links, and it will take you to those products in the online store. I do have my blog post live today too. So, and if you're a blog subscriber, you may have noticed that I went back to blogging every time I have something to share. It was too hard to, I mean, I thought it was getting easier, but I was like, no, let's just blog twice, 2 or 3 times a week again, because it was like, anyways, the blog post is live. And you'll notice that in that blog post, you have information for the 2 tutorials that I do every month. The All-Star tutorial is there. Let's just open up the blog. For those of you that are like, what is she talking about? Okay, we're bringing up a little window here and we're going to click on Stamp Your Art Out. Okay, so here I'm on my blog, Stamp Your Art Out. Too much up there. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and here's the blog post. So if you click on that one, you'll see that I mentioned the free shipping. Yay. Then here's one set of tutorials. This is paper pumpkin related. So if you're a paper pumpkin person, you might want to get your hands on those. And then I have down below that, the next little section is the Gathering Together All-Star Tutorial Bundle. I forgot to mention these 2 bundles when I was only blogging once a week for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks. I'm like, oh my gosh, Rachel, you're forgetting things by doing it this way. So I stuck them in this post. I know it's mid-month, but they've been available since the 1st, just so you know. And again, a $50 order will earn you that All-Star Tutorial Bundle for free. You'll get it emailed to you. Underneath that, you'll see the information for these cards with the video, with the link to that PDF that I shared. The measurements are in here and the photos of the cards. Okay, so there's that. I'm glad I mentioned that. The starter kit, there's a starter kit offer going on right now, and a lot of you are taking advantage of it because you are smart. $35 gets you into the demonstrator side of things so you can be a discount shopper. With that $35 plus tax, free shipping, you get business supplies for free in case you don't want to do it, because 90% of the people that get the starter kit just want to get the starter kit product, the consumable or the what should I say? The catalog product, right? The stamping product. So don't feel bad if you want to recycle that stuff. Or if you live next to another demonstrator, you can, pass it along to them if they use it. So that's free. Shipping is free. And you get to pick up to $125 worth of product for $35. I know, it's a really good deal. So it's so fun. Stampin' Up! Is celebrating their kickoff of their new year, because we always start our new year in October. And that is why it's such a great time to join. I hope that you consider it. There's also another option. If you want to do the $99 kit, you can get $99 plus tax, get the free shipping, get the free business supplies, and choose up to $189 worth of product. You also get a free paper pumpkin if you're in the North America area. So a little free kit stuck in there. That's what's happening for October free shipping today, starter kit offer all month long. I'm sorry, free shipping today, tomorrow, and the next day. And then upcoming lives. I just want to tell you about those before we go. So make sure that you're checking out that calendar that is linked in my description of my video. Also, Trisha shared it. But the upcoming lives are this Friday in the evening. And I'm going to do some fun stuff with the Nutcracker Tag Kits Collection Kit. We're making some fun fold cards. And then we have another live next week on the 29th at 11 a.m. After that one's done, in the early afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Time, so 3 hours later, I'm going to do a live just for my members, my YouTube members. And then you can see the rest of the lives going on. So I hope that you check it out. Trisha, you are a doll. Thank you so much for all your help. I forget my graphics. If you are interested, you can visit my website at stampyourartout.com. Thank you, you guys. Make sure that you are clicking the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Make sure your notifications are turned on so that you always get notifications when I go live. You guys rock. I'm looking at the comments trying to see if I missed anything. I hope I did not. Let me know if I did, you guys. Yeah, so we're going to be live again at 1:00 p.m. So in 1 hour, come join me again. There's a link already for that live so that you can tune in. And we're going to talk about new storage for the new packaging for stamps and dies, some tips and tricks on that, some things that I've learned from fellow demonstrators, and just what I'm going to probably do with mine for a while. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to let you all go. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.